Hi everyone, my name is Kate. Welcome back to my wondernetting channel. Summer is just around the corner and I felt like I had to make a perfect crochet top for summer, something light, something airy and cute enough to wear it every single day. So today we are going to crochet exactly that. I want to make it simple yet stylish, and I'm aiming for this design that looks good on any body type. I'll probably use a cotton yarn for this top because it's perfect for warm weather, for summer, for humid weather. It's Coma from Wool Club. I will leave the link to this yarn in the description below this video. So if you're also in the mood to add something summery, cozy and handmade to your summer wardrobe, let's crochet together. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Here I have a lot of interesting tutorials for you, and also there will be a lot of more tutorials this summer. I suggest to start with a mood board. Whenever I start a new project, I love to create a mood board or inspiration board just to help me visualize the final result. Sometimes I don't even know exactly what I want to create until I start putting together some visuals, a mood, maybe color palette, maybe some textures that catch my eye. So that's why I always start with a mood board. And I recommend you to do so too if you want to create your own project, crochet or knitting project or whatever project you want. And for all of that we're gonna use Milanote. Milanote is a tool that helps you to organize your creative projects, and I've been using a Milanote for some time right now and I really love it, and huge thanks to them for sponsoring today's video. So let's use Milanote for today's project. I've been using it to brainstorm, gather ideas and keep everything in one place. It's really flexible, intuitive, and right now I'm using Milanote to plan my future patterns, my future designs, like a dragonfly dress that you all loved. I built a whole mood board for that dress in Milanote, the color palette, the vibe, the key designs element. Having all those ideas visualized in one spot made such a huge difference. So today I'm using Milanote again to plan this crochet top we are going to make. So let's gather inspiration pictures from Pinterest, maybe adding some notes, maybe even sketch a design for this top on the board. Let's add color palettes. I love these colors. Maybe let's draw some little sketch. So I want this top to have similar vibes to this one with ruffles, and it will be with ties at front, but you can add buttons if you want, of course. Milanote makes it so easy to lay out those details, add notes, drawing. We can upload yarn options, for example, link to yarn. And what I also like that I can create a board inside board. So for example, if I want to make in the future the skirt, to make a whole set with this top, I can gather inspiration pictures right here. And to make a new board, let's take a ready-made template. Milanote has a really beautiful and pretty template. So if you're a beginner, you can jump right in and start creating your board without feeling lost. And yes, Milanote is completely free, no time limits, no trial period, and you can even share your boards with team members or clients, and they can leave feedback or add their notes or own ideas on your board. So if you're creative like me, whether you crochet, write, design or just love to organize your thoughts visually, I highly recommend checking out Milanote. So click the link in the description to sign up for free and start planning your next project in beautiful, organized way. And let's get started on this summer top. Like I mentioned, I'll be using 100% cotton yarn. I have these two big cones, one's more of creamy, buttery color, and the other is pure white. I'm going with the creamy shade, it's super trendy right now. As I said earlier, you'll find the link to this yarn in the description below this video. This cone is huge, it's 600 grams, which is definitely enough to make a full set, a top and even a skirt. I also be using using a 2.5mm crochet hook since the yarn is quite thin. To make things easier, I'm using this yarn holder that spins while crochet. Now I need to come up with a simple stitch pattern. I don't really want to use just double crochets. I want to make it a bit more interesting, maybe with some texture, so I'll probably go with a pattern that uses 3 double crochets and 1 chain stitch. So here's my little swatch and I like it. It looks really nice and adds a bit of airiness to the top, which will make it more interesting. Now we are going to start working on the front piece. Both front pieces are exactly the same, so we'll crochet one now and then you can make the second one the same way. The stitch pattern is based on a 4-stitch repeat. Like I said, 3 double crochets and 1 chain. But to make sure the pattern doesn't end on the chain stitch, we need to tweak it just a bit. We're going to start by chaining 47. If you want to make a bigger size, just add 4 more stitches. For example, 47 plus 4 is 51 stitches, or 51 plus 4 is 55 stitches, and so on. Just to break it down again for anyone curious, I want 11 pattern repeats. 11 multiplied by 4 equals 44, but to end the row with 3 double crochets instead of a chain, I need to add 3 extra stitches. That makes 47 chains in total. Now we need to add 3 more chain stitches. These 3 chains will count as our first double crochet in a row. Yarn over and insert a hook into the 5th chain from the hook. Then make a double crochet. Loop on the hook doesn't count, so insert a hook into the 5th loop, grab the yarn, pull it out, crochet first 2 loops, then 2 more. It's our double crochet. Then yarn over again, insert your hook into the next stitch and make double crochet again. Then chain 1, skip 1 stitch below and make 3 double crochets in a row, 1 in each of the next 3 chains. Then chain 1 again, skip 1 stitch at the bottom and repeat 3 double crochets. Keep repeating this pattern all the way to the end of the row. At the very end you should finish with 3 double crochets. I finished my first row and here's how it looks. I ended with 3 double crochets and now we're going to start the next row in a way that keeps the edge nice and straight. We are not going to chain anything, just turn your work and insert your hook straight into the very first stitch, right here, into the first double crochet. Then grab the yarn, pull it out and crochet single crochet, just 2 loops. Then insert your hook into the first stitch of that single crochet and make another single crochet. So basically you'll have 1 single crochet on top of another, and this will give us a clean, even edge. We'll start every row like this from now on. It's super simple, just remember the placement. If you're worried about losing track of that stitch, you can place a stitch marker on top of it so you don't miss it in the next row, and don't forget to work into it when you come back around. We are continuing with the same stitch pattern, double crochets on top of double crochets and chain spaces over chain spaces. Just keep the pattern exactly the same and finish each row with 3 double crochets. Start the next row the same way I just showed you, single crochet on top of single crochet, and keep repeating the pattern. You'll need to keep working like this for as many rows as you want before starting the decreases for the chest. So once you reach the point where you want to start shaping the front, just pause and follow along with the decrease instructions. We'll be decreasing both at the neckline and at the armholes. I'm going to crochet about 18 rows upwards, and then on the 19th row I'll start doing the decreases at the neckline. The decreases for the armholes will come a bit later, around row 21. It all works up pretty quickly and easily, nothing too complicated, even the beginners can totally handle this pattern, and the top will still turn out super pretty and most importantly really stylish. So this is roughly the height I have for the front piece before starting the shaping, and now I'm slowly going to begin the decreases. Right now this part measures about 20 centimeters in height, and just for reference the width is around 24 centimeters. I've finished 18 rows, and now on the 19th row we are going to start decreasing on one side. How do we do that? We start the row exactly like we've been doing, with single crochets. So to decrease I'm going to work 2 stitches together as one single crochet. Insert a hook into the first stitch, grab the yarn, pull it out. Insert a hook into the second stitch, grab the yarn, pull it out. You have 3 loops on the hook, crochet them together. Then insert the hook into the first stitch and make another single crochet. That way we've decreased by 2 stitches. You can place a marker right on top here to keep track. After that, just keep following the pattern all the way to the end of the row. The next row will start as usual, no decreases on that side, and I'll meet you at the end of the next row because we'll be doing another decrease there. I'm at the end of row 20 and I have 2 stitches left unfinished. I'm going to do a decrease here just like a regular double crochet decrease. Yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, grab the yarn, pull it out and crochet 2 loops on the hook. Then yarn over again, insert the hook into the last stitch, grab the yarn, pull it out, crochet 2 loops. You have 3 loops on the hook, crochet them together, so it's our double crochet decrease with 2 last stitches. Turn your work, and starting from row 21 we'll begin making decreases on both sides, one at the armhole side and one at the neckline. So now we'll start this row with decrease, just like I showed you earlier. The first 2 stitches will be a single crochet decrease. I insert my hook into the first stitch, then into the chain space, grab the yarn, pull it out, crochet 3 loops together, then I make 1 single crochet on top of that stitch. You can place a marker here, and after that just continue following the pattern as usual. At the very end of the row we'll also do a decrease, but this time it will be a double crochet decrease over the last 2 stitches. I'm at the end of row 21 and I'm doing double crochet decrease with the last 2 stitches. Then I turn my work and keep going the same way, making decreases at the beginning and end of each row. It's honestly not that hard, the decreases are just repeated. If there's a chain space, you simply insert your hook into that space and include it in the decrease. Keep working your decreases on both sides until we reach the point where we start shaping the actual neckline on the front. I've finished 27 rows and now we're going to start shaping a more defined neckline. The side where we've been doing decreases earlier, that's our neckline. So right now I'm on the armhole side, I'm turning my work, and this time I'm not doing a decrease at the beginning of the row, just starting the row as usual. I'll keep crocheting until I have 4 stitches left at the end of the row. At the end, we're going to do 2 decreases in a row, right at the neckline side. Now I've got 4 stitches left, including the chain space. I'm going to do 2 double crochet decreases in a row. It's the first one and the second one with 2 last stitches. Now turn your work. And we need to make 7 decreases in a row. The first one is single crochet decrease, just how we normally start a row with a decrease, and then we do 6 more decreases right after that. So it's second decrease, then the third, fourth, fifth, and 6. So in total 7 decreases. This will help round out the neckline nicely. After that, we just keep crocheting as usual, and when we got to the last 4 stitches, we make 2 decreases. So in total we've done 7 decreases at the beginning of the row and 2 at the end. That's it. From this point on, we start working on the strap. We are not doing any more decreases. Just start the next row and crochet up to where we had our neckline decreases. It should be around 13 or 14 stitches, if I'm not mistaken. Here are our 7 decreases in a row. Right after the last decrease, there is a chain space, so I'm not going to crochet into that. I just turn my work and keep going with the next row. Then turn your work and crochet a straight row back with no decreases. Keep repeating this process until your strap reaches the length you want, just for the front part for now, since we'll crochet the strap for the back part later. Basically, the strap should go halfway across your shoulder. I'm going to crochet about 10 rows up for the strap. At the very end, make chain 1, leave a longer tip because we'll use it to sew the front and back pieces together at the shoulders. Then you can cut the yarn. Now you need to crochet the exact same front piece one more time. We'll just flip it over and it will be a mirror image of the first one. Now we're going to start working on the back piece. It's actually made exactly the same way as the front piece, with decreases on the armhole sides. So the decreases will be the same as on the front. I'll show you again how to do those decreases to make it easier and clearer for you, but overall the back is identical, just without the neckline shaping, only armhole decreases. So for the back, you'll start by chaining 91 stitches, then add 3 more chains. This will count as your first double crochet, and begin your first stitch in the 5th chain from the hook, and keep crocheting upwards the same number of rows as you did for the front pieces, up to the point where the armhole decreases begin. In my case, that's up to row 21. So the back piece is just the rectangle, and the decreases will be only from the sides. I think it's the easiest and really beautiful pattern that you can make for the summer top. It looks lacy, yet will be airy and won't be hot for summer. And you know, I really like this cotton yarn. It's not like a soft cotton yarn or, you know, like a male cotton yarn. It's a solid cotton, but it's nice to touch, and I think it won't be too hot for a really hot summer, because right now I'm in Vietnam and here the weather is so humid and hot, so this cotton is perfect for such weather. It's sock or fingering weight of yarn. By the way, I used the same yarn for my dragonfly dress, but in white color. This is more creamy color. I think it will be more convenient for you if I show how to make decreases on the back piece, so you don't need to go back for the front pieces and check how to make decreases there. I think I can finish this top today, maybe without ruffles, but just the usual top, yes. So at row 21 we'll begin making decreases at both the beginning and at the end of each row. It's very simple. At the beginning of the row we'll decrease using the method for single crochets, just like I've shown you before. At the end of the row we'll decrease using the method for double crochet decreases. Nothing complicated here. I'll be showing you exactly how to do the decreases at the beginning and at the end of the row as we go. You can place a marker right here to keep track on this stitch. At the end of row 21, make double crochet decrease. Row 22, start the same way. At the beginning, decrease for single crochets, and at the end, double crochet decrease. As I said, nothing complicated. When we have a chain space, we simply insert the hook into that chain space and make decrease as usual. This way, we continue making decreases on both sides up to row 28, specifically until row 28. Then, on row 29, we'll start making 2 decreases in a row at both the beginning and at the end of the row. So we begin working on row 29 and we make 2 decreases in a row right at the start. Then we continue the pattern as usual, and when we reach the last 4 stitches, we also make 2 decreases. Now we begin working on the straps. First we'll crochet 1 strap, then the second. For each strap, crochet the same number of stitches as on the front part. So count how many stitches you have in the strap area on the front and use the same number of stitches on the back. Work the same number of rows upwards. At the end, make chain 1 and cut the yarn. Then join a new yarn on the other side and crochet the second strap using the same number of stitches and rows. I finished the strap on the back and already cut the yarn. Now let's attach the new yarn for the second strap. Make a slip knot, count the same number of stitches as you had for the first strap, insert your hook, pull out the loop, and make chain of 3. Then just continue crocheting following the same pattern and do the same number of rows as the first strap. So here's what I've got so far, 2 front pieces and 1 back piece. This is roughly how it's going to look. Now we're going to join them all together. I'm using the wrong side and the long yarn tail I left earlier. I just insert my hook into the first stitches, make chain 1, and then join everything together using single crochet stitches. At the end, chain 1, cut the yarn, and I do the same thing for the other shoulder. I'm also going to join the sides of the top using single crochet stitches. I'll insert the hook into each row, into each stitch along the side. Make sure to insert the hook right into the center of the stitch so you don't get any big gaps. For each row, I'll make 2 single crochet stitches. We're going to join the sides like this until we reach the point where the decreases start. That's row 21. Here's how it turned out. You could even just call it a vest. If you like it this way, you can totally leave it like this and wear it as a simple vest. You can add a light edging, maybe some buttons, and wear it as it is. I really like it too. But we're going to add ruffles to make the top more fun, more interesting, and we'll also add some ties at the front. To make the ruffles, I take my yarn, make chain 3, and then in each stitch I work 5 double crochets. This way we get nice and full ruffles. Of course, you can also do just 3 double crochets per stitch if you want them to be less fluffy. They'll still look cute. We need to do this all along the edge. I started at the neckline, then I'll move on the straps, then the back, back to the straps again, then the front, and finally along the bottom edge. Basically, I'm working continuously around the entire edge of the top without cutting the yarn. I'm also add ruffles around the armholes the same way. To finish the ruffles, just make a slip stitch into the 3rd loop of the first chain. Here's what the top looks like with just the ruffles, without the ties. I think it looks super cute, like this too. Again, you can add some buttons and wear it as a vest without the ties. I actually really like it this way as well. But now we're going to add the ties. They're super easy to make. You just crochet a long chain, long enough to lace it through the back and the straps. I'd probably chain around 200 stitches, maybe a bit more, but you can adjust it depending on your top. Then you just work one row of single crochets across the chain. We'll need to make 2 ties in total, one for the neckline and one under the bust. The second one can be a bit shorter, maybe around 150 chains or so, and again crochet one row of single crochets across it. The last step is to lace in the ties. I start from the wrong side and thread the tie outward, viewing it through every other row or so within the loosest spaces I can find. I go all the way around the neckline, through the straps, across the back, through the straps again, and finish back at the neckline. For the second tie, which goes just under the bust, I start at the front again, view it through the back, and finish on the opposite front side. Like I said before, this one sits a little lower than the first. You can totally leave it with just one tie, whatever feels best for you. As for me, I'm going to add the second one. And here's how the top turned out. It totally gives off summer vacation vibes. I absolutely love it. It's super flattering on any body type, and I'm really happy with the design and the way it fits. It goes perfectly with skirts or jeans, and it can either hide certain areas, if you know what I mean, or highlight your best features. I definitely recommend giving this top a try. If you want to feel more confident wearing it, you can layer a simple sport bra or a little white top underneath like I did, so it's not see-through. It still looks really feminine, stylish and modern, and of course it's in a trendy color too. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So I hope you like this tutorial. As you can see, you can make this top really easy, and I really love the shape and the design of this top. It turned out really pretty. So please write your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye kiddies!